You have cooperation, leadership, teamwork. Um, those are some that I think pretty much everyone's going to understand with a team sport. Those types of things that you're going to learn, how to collaborate and how to, navigate this environment of working together. Those are pretty clear. The focus needs to be on their ability to be coachable. That transcends the rest of their life in whatever job they might have. And their ability to listen, to take instruction and turn that into action, to be able to execute what's been asked of them. Those are the kinds of things on a high level that you'd think of when you think of goals for your child that don't revolve around winning and losing. So there are three themes that I think that would be most advantageous to see develop through our young people, through sport. The first I've spoken on a little bit is honor. If you look up the definition of honor, it's adherence to what is right or to a conventional standard of conduct. I think that speaks to, playing whatever game it is the right way. Don't take shortcuts. Don't try to game the system or teach your kid how to get away with things, or your players on your team secrets that are not as straightforward as just participating in the game as it's meant to be played. There's something to be said about if the other team is getting away with something, you can either do it also, or you can choose to just continue to play the right way. I think that instilling that honorable way to navigate sport might help across the board to have a younger generation grow up to know how to be more honorable in their interactions with people. Another is tact. I think tact is something that we all could stand to do to enhance in our world. That there's so many social interactions nowadays in social media and otherwise that, boy, you just think if people could just be more tactful in the way that they interact with each other, I think a lot of our problems would not be as prevalent as they are today, a lot of our friction points. So, if you look up tact, it's a keen sense of what to do or say in order to maintain good relations with others, skill in dealing with difficult or delicate situations. So, being an example to players, as a parent, as a coach, as an official, how to navigate tough conversations or challenging times, to say the right things and be the right person in those interactions with people. I think a lot of that just comes from teaching your kids how to be empathetic, to see things from the other team's point of view, from the official's point of view, to shed that light. If they get upset about a call or they get mad about something they feel like they've been wronged, ask them to see it from the other perspective. Think about it for a minute. This official, he saw it the way that he saw it, and he called it the way that he called it. Instead of getting all upset about it and talking about how you've been wronged, just think for a minute. He's not out to get you. He's not doing it on purpose. He made a call. So step back from it and think about it from their perspective rather than just seeing it only from your own perspective. I think we could all learn a lot from that nowadays. The other thing that I think that, and this theme is going to sound odd, but I think that we all could benefit from having a little bit more self-conscious shame. I think that we don't want social shaming. That's not necessarily the right way of looking at it, but self-conscious, that you're internalizing when you've done something wrong, that it's wrong, and that you feel bad about it. If we instill in our kids how the way the game is supposed to be played and that it should be played honorably, I feel like a product of that is they'll then interpret and understand what it means to play the game dishonorably or incorrectly, and as a result, would have that internalized shame associated with what they've done that's dishonorable. Not that they've done wrong. They shouldn't be ashamed of making a mistake. It's acting dishonorably that they should learn to feel bad about. So we can't shame our players for if you airball a jump shot. This is not, if I'll be honest, in my experience coaching, a lot of times as the shot is released before it's even made it to the rim, if it's taken at the correct time and the correct positioning, I say good shot. And if they miss it all, if it goes out of bounds, if they're making a good basketball decision and it just doesn't work out, they shouldn't be shamed for that. But if they're doing something that is dishonorable, then they should feel ashamed for acting dishonorably. So there's a difference. There's an intention. So I'd also say that, especially in basketball, there are millions of different possibilities and decisions that can be made. So even when they make a bad decision, that's a tough one. You know, your point guard makes a bad pass, it throws it right to a defender. The first thing you want to do is get down on them because they've made this bad mistake, but you've got to let them make decisions. And then you have to instill in them that it's okay. It's not that it's just okay, oh, don't worry about it, who cares if you win or lose. It's not like that. But they have to be comfortable and confident enough to continue to make decisions and try things out. And they will fail. But they cannot be shamed or demeaned when the decision they make doesn't turn out, even if it was a bad decision. You know, later you can talk about it, but in the moment or even later, you can't demean them for it unless perhaps it's the 600th time they've made this poor decision. But you have to trust that the process is that they're working that out. They're figuring out how to navigate the court and the game and all the other variables that are happening. And sometimes you're going to make mistakes. But if you are into shaming that the decision didn't work out, then you're going to have a bunch of players that are playing afraid. And then your focus turns into something else that isn't about just being honorable, and it's about trying not to make mistakes. So the shame part, I think, is what I'm trying to say is I think that people if we have kids that learn, that feel that shame that's associated with doing something dishonorable, then we have people that will be able to, as adults, self-regulate themselves to behave honorably, which, quite honestly, if we have people that are able to self-regulate behaving honorably and tactfully, you might find that a lot of social policy won't be necessary. We may find that we have to police behavior less if we can raise a generation of kids that have a foundation of honor and tactfulness with a little bit of understanding about feeling shame when they behave dishonorably.